Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I am going to be doing my January wrap-up of the few books that I read in January. I actually started school this month, which takes up a lot of time. And anyways, I didn't read like a huge amount of books. I'm not someone who can sit down and like pound through a book. I'm such a slow reader, but I did manage to finish 2 books, and I'm currently reading another book. So let's get on and review the books that I did read. So at the very beginning of January, I was like, should I reread one of my favorite books, or should I read something that is entirely new, like it's a new author, new genre, new series, or should I read something from a favorite author of mine that I haven't read yet? So I decided on the last one, that is Everlast by Neil Shusterman. This is the first book in his Skinjacker trilogy, and I've been meaning to read this series for like years, and I decided I'm just gonna read it. So I read it, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Essentially, we have our two main characters, Nick and Allie, and they are both involved in the same car accident, and then something happens. They end up dying. So essentially they are dropped into this parallel world, kind of, that is like halfway between actually living and actually being dead, and it's called Everlast, and they have to kind of figure it out, learn their way around, and there's mischief and mystery and creepiness that ensues. They meet monsters and like friends, but also they kind of figure out their place within this new world. Also, a very interesting thing is all of the people who go to Everlast are actually children. So it's just a bunch of children, and it's really interesting. It is a lot of fun, but also it's very serious, and it makes you think. Like, Neil Shusterman is the king of complex storylines and characters, and that really shows through in this book a lot. One of my favorite things about this is the character growth. I highly recommend this if you are a fan of Neil Shusterman, and it's really good. So yeah. So the second book that I read, I've actually owned for like 4 years, and that is Every Day by David Leviathan. I had this for like 3.5 years. Haven't read it. So the story with this one goes is I saw that there was a trailer. They made a movie out of it, and I was like, oh, I guess I have to read it now. I decided that, now is the time to read it, so I read it, and I have some thoughts on it. So essentially, this story is told by the perspective of this genderless soul who goes by the name of A. So A gets transferred from one person to the next every single day. A is never in the same body twice. But what happens when A falls in love with a girl when A is possessed her boyfriend's body? So that's essentially the story that we are dealing with in this book. I loved this book for like 2 reasons. There was never a point when I was reading this when I was bored at all. It was entertaining and interesting, and I just really liked that aspect. I also love his writing style. It's very simple. It's not some authors, I find, they get very flowery with their writing style. He is not one of them, and it's just nice and simple. Things I had issues with. I had issues with A and how A was kind of forcing a relationship with the girl that A is in love with. And Like, I get it, you're in love with somebody, we all know, like, I understand that, but to what cost? That's just what I'm gonna say. It kind of felt one-sided at times, and it just, that made it feel a bit uncomfortable for me. And also, I didn't really like the two main characters. I did like a bit more than Rihanna. Is that how you say her name? Or Rihanna? I have no idea. But I did like the ending a lot. So yeah, I really enjoyed it a lot, which is kind of weird to enjoy a book and not really connect with the characters that much, but I still really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it a 3.5 stars out of 5. It did make me think a lot about who we are as people and all that good stuff. So props. And I'm actually really excited to read more things by David Leviathan in the future. Okay, so the next and last book that I have read / am currently reading is The Basic Aid by Daniel Handler. I was in Nicaragua for a missions trip in 2016, and on like our final day there, we visited a small seaside town that was like right next to Costa Rica. There they had a coffee shop and a bookstore in one, and it was really interesting. And so from then on, I decided that every time I traveled to a new country or something like that, or just a different city, that I would find a used bookstore and purchase a novel there. And when I saw this, I was like, it's Daniel Handler, like one of my favorite authors. And so I had to pick it up. And then I decided, like, what am I going to read next after I finished Every Day? And I decided to pick this up. No, I didn't know what this was about prior to picking it up and starting to read it. I think I'm currently 70 pages into it, and I started it probably like a week ago. See, I'm not a fast reader, guys. And essentially, this book, I did not know. I thought it was about this old man. It's not about an old man. The story starts off with this girl who is 19, almost 20, so like my age exactly. I thought it was crazy that I started to read this right before I turned 20. Anyways, she is somewhere. I don't know if she's in jail or if she is in prison, but she is writing her experience that led up to her and her group of friends. There are 7 of them, excluding her, so there is 8 friends, and somehow I think they're involved in a murder. And so essentially the entire novel is her journal from the time during and around this crime. I'm not sure if it is actually a murder because there have been mentions of murder in this book, but it's so interesting. It's written so well and so interestingly, and I just love the setting. It is set in San Francisco, which is really awesome. I think he might live in San Francisco, and I'm really enjoying it. I would love to do a full review on it after I'm done reading it. So anyways, those are all of the books that I read in January, as well as a book I'm currently reading. I hope you guys had a great reading month. If that is something that you enjoy doing, I know that reading is such an escape for me and it's very enjoyable. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time with another one soon. Bye.